Hi there! Today, we're going to make kimbap, a popular soul food in Korea. It's a comforting and affordable dish that many Koreans love. Kimbap is always there to offer you comfort and a sense of home whenever things are going well or not so well. Before we start, let's gather up all the ingredients we'll need for this recipe. We'll be using cooked rice, dried seaweed sheets, ground beef, cucumber, carrots, eggs, and sprouts. So first things first, we gotta marinate the ground beef. We're starting with 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, sesame oil, crushed garlic. Oh, and I almost forgot the sugar. Mix everything together and let it marinate for 20 minutes. While the beef is marinating, we're gonna go ahead and prepare the carrots and cucumbers. Peel and slice the carrots and cut into thin strips. Cutting carrots feels like a good workout. In a perfect world, we want to cut the cucumber into thin strips and remove the seeds, but I am too lazy today. Plus, I don't want to waste the cucumber. Transfer the carrots and the cucumber strips into separate bowls. Next, let's move on to the eggs. Crack open 3 eggs, sprinkle some salt, add a couple tablespoons of water and mix it all up. And here comes a sick transition. Now we're gonna cook the egg mix in a stainless pan. Ideally, the eggs shouldn't stick to the pan, of course. Make sure that your pan is hot enough before adding oil. Transfer the cooked eggs to a cutting board and cut into thin strips. Toss in those carrot strips and stir fry them for 2 minutes. If you want to add some extra flavor, go ahead and do the Salt Bae move. Finally, add a splash of sesame oil. Next, let's stir fry the ground beef until it's cooked. Now that all ingredients are prepared, it's time to assemble the kimbap. When I'm prepping the ingredients for kimbap, it always feels like it takes forever. But I always get excited making kimbap by myself. So we're gonna season the rice with salt only. Make sure to put the rough side of the seaweed sheet facing up. And don't stress if you don't have plastic gloves, just use your hands to spread a thin layer of rice evenly on the sheet. But remember to be gentle. In case you wonder why I'm adding sprouts to my kimbap, it's to reduce the workload for the ingredients. Smart me. Traditionally, kimbap is made with stir-fried fish cake, lotus roots, spinach, fermented radish, and imitation crab meat. But let's be honest, you can use whatever ingredients you like. If you prefer to keep things veggie-centric, load up on the greens. It's all about personal preference here. There was a time when I insisted Korean food was authentic, but today I see things differently. As long as it tastes good and you're happy with it, that's all that matters. Once you've added your ingredients in a straight line across the rice, it's time to roll it up. Don't roll too tightly or you'll end up with a kimbap explosion. I'm speaking from personal experience. Pro tip, to seal everything off, smear some cooked rice on the tip of the seaweed sheet. And speaking of cooked rice, let me level with you. This is actually my 3rd attempt at making kimbap. It's not exactly a quick recipe and it takes more time than a Netflix binge. But hey, 3rd time's a charm, right? At least that's what I'm telling myself. Alright, let's make this kimbap look as good as it tastes. This will give it that glossy finish and help seal the seaweed sheet to keep everything in place. Now it's time to slice this bad boy up and see how it turned out. I gotta say, this might be the most impressive kimbap I've ever rolled. I'm not trying to show off, but if kimbap rolling was a competitive sport, I'd be a solid quarter-finalist. Now, typically kimbap is good enough to stand on its own, but I'm feeling a little extra today. So let's whip up a fancy dipping sauce with gochujang and mayo. It's like a fancy version of ketchup and mayo, and trust me, it tastes really good too. It's my 3rd attempt making kimbap, and I still have a lot to learn about getting the perfect flavors for sure. But you know what? That's okay, because there's something special about these nostalgic comfort foods that just can't be replicated. Even if I can never quite recreate the taste of my mom's kimbap, the act of making it always brings back happy memories and gives me that warm, fuzzy feeling. Okay, I'm just trying to find a good ending for this video. Thanks for joining me today and see you next time. Mwah.